Good evening, everybody. We'll begin from 6 o'clock. Before we begin, please let me know if your team members are here. Team 1, Vax Saver. Is the entire team here?
Yeah, I'm over here. Prajwal, my mate, is not joined.
All right, please ask him to join by 6. Team EcoClean. Is Team EcoClean here? All right, Team Think Ahead.
Yes, team Think Ahead is here.
And your teammates as well?
Unfortunately, he can't come
All right, okay.
due to medical reasons.
All right, okay, thank you. Team The One.
Yeah, I'm here, and my teammate Pooja is also here.
All right, great. And Team Pro F. Do we have Team Pro F? All right, and Team EcoClean, are they here yet? All right, thank you. We'll just wait for some more time. Hello, is Team EcoClean here? Team Pro F?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And yeah, you can keep your camera off. I'm just confirming if all the participants are here yet. And Team EcoClean, is Team EcoClean here? Okay. A few general instructions. After we begin the presentations, please keep your camera and your microphones off unless it's your turn. And we'll let you know, we'll call your names out so you know who's going to present. But before that, I'll just read I'll just read who goes first. First, we have Vax Saver. Then we have EcoClean. Then is Think Ahead. Then we have The One. And finally, we have ProF.
शामिन अभी आवाज सुनाई दीजिए. Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, who was that? Sorry. Sarthak, we'll just check the buzzer right now. Can you play it once?
Devina, is the buzzer audible to you?
Not really.
It's not clear, right?
Hmm.
Oh, is it? Give me a second again.
For people who've joined in just now, please rename yourselves as your name, surname, followed by the team name.
Pranav, let me know if this is better.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay, fine. I can do it then. All right.
Great.
Okay, participants, at the end of 6 minutes and at the end of 7 minutes, you will hear this buzzer. I'll play it again. At the end of 6 minutes, it's to notify that only 1 minute is left. And when you hear it a second time, it means that your time is over. So once your presentation is done, we will go ahead with the Q&A session by the judges, which will be for 3 minutes. We'll start soon. Before we start, I'll do a final call, and please make sure you answer if you're here. Team Vaxsaver, is everybody here?
Yeah.
Okay. Team EcoClean, is everybody here? Team EcoClean, is everybody here? Okay. Team Think Ahead, is everybody here?
Yes.
Okay. Team The One, do we have the participants here?
Yes, yes, we do.
Okay, great. And Team ProF, has everybody joined?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So we don't have EcoClean, so we'll go ahead with the other 4 teams. We'll begin now. Thank you so much for waiting. Yes, Sarthak, that's audible.
All right.
Good evening, one and all, and a warm welcome to our judges, participants, and our dear audience. Firstly, congratulations to our participants who have made it to the final round of the Earthly Ventures event, organized by the Xavier's Association of Chemistry in collab with the ESEF. All of today's technology was at some point a revolutionary startup. India is becoming the world's fastest growing startup hub. India is from CoinDCX to Cred, Meesho, Urban Company to Unacademy, which has built itself the Netflix of education. And can you guess its valuation rise? It's about $3.4 billion. Well, startups are considered as a core of creativity and innovation across various industries. As the saying goes, you have a hack for it, the website for it, and an app for it. So audience, brace yourselves because you are now about to witness the participants of Earthly Ventures present their startup idea, which could potentially become the next $1 million business in India. I now hand over to Dishita, who will further introduce our panelists for the evening.
Good evening. We are pleased to have with us today 2 esteemed judges. Our first judge, Mr. Abhijit Parmar, is a business associate at Aurionpro, a global technology solution company. Mr. Parmar has completed his MBA from IBS Hyderabad and is currently pursuing a fellowship with Zata. His motto is, "Clean tech is the way to a better future." Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Our second judge is Mr. Pranil Nayak, the founder of Leap Forward, a non-profit organization dedicated to the cause of enhancing the English language skills of children and youth from underserved communities and thereby enabling them to access those opportunities which to date remain unexplored. Mr. Nayak strives to build a sustainable solution to some of the most pressing challenges in his chosen area of work. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this event with your presence. We are pleased to have the both of you today with us. Now, for those who over here who might have missed the chance to register for this innovative event, here is a great opportunity for all you bright and ingenious people to present your sustainable ideas
and win along with it some exciting gift vouchers. So, encouraging the audience present with us here today to share with us their alternative solutions to the problems that will be presented by the teams today. Please keep a note of your ideas, and we will ask you about it at the end of the presentations to avoid breaking any flow of the participating teams. So the audience is requested to please stay till the end and enjoy by coming up with some innovative new ideas, which we will keenly look forward to hearing. Before we start with the presentations, please note the following guidelines. During the presentations, the audience is requested to keep their cameras and microphones off to avoid any kind of disruption. Each team will get 7 minutes to present, which will be followed by a 3-minute Q&A session. At the end of the 6th minute, a buzzer sound will be played to notify the members, and at the end of the 7 minutes, the same buzzer sound will be played. For the Q&A, the judges can unmute and ask the questions, or they can type it on the chat box and the host will read it out for the participants. With the stage now set for showdown, let's wait no longer and invite Team Wax Saver to start off the finals of Earthly Ventures. Wishing best of luck to all the teams.
Shall I start presenting?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you please allow me to share the screen, host?
Yes, sure. Can you try now?
Yeah. I hope my screen is visible and I'm clearly audible at everyone end.
Yes.
Shall I begin?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, very good evening, respected judges. I'm Ritvik Menge. Finally,
Dear participant, just a minute. If you could please speak a little louder. It's
okay, yeah.
very low.
Is it audible now?
Yes, it's good.
Okay,
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Judges, are the participants audible?
Yes, they are.
Yes. Thank you. You may continue.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, yeah, good evening, respected judges. I'm Ritvik Menge, finally a mechanical engineering student from Trinity College. The domain which I'm trying to focus is in the field of healthcare on vaccine crisis, which also supports sustainable development goal in healthcare. And the project name is VaxSaver, an active refrigeration system for last-leg vaccine transportation. So starting off with a very short introduction, what are vaccines? So we all know vaccines are sensitive biological agents which are generally used to cure any kind of particular disease. But why actually I'm talking about vaccines? So here comes the problem statement, that is vaccine crisis. In India, almost less than 44% of Indian children receive full-scale immunization. Nationally, almost there are more than 3 million deaths due to pneumonia and milliasis and other vaccine preventable disease. Globally, almost 22 million infants still don't receive basic vaccines, with 1.5 million children die each year from vaccine preventable disease. Here is a short video which generally explains why actually the vaccine crisis happens. So whenever the vaccines have been manufactured in a manufacturing utility, it is needed to be stored within 2 degrees Celsius as recommended by WHO worldwide during the transportation phase. But during the last leg vaccine transportation phase, current system uses cold boxes and ice packs. And due to use of cold boxes and ice packs, vaccine and lot of thermal fluctuations, vaccines potency may get degraded, which causes vaccine crisis happens globally every year. Almost 95% of the world usually relies on cold boxes and ice packs for its last leg vaccine transportation. And these are the WHO recommended vaccine storage conditions. That is, almost all vaccines are recommended to be stored within 2 degrees Celsius. So taking into account to all these problems, I've proposed a solution named VaxSaver, which is innovative, eco-friendly, PCM integrated active refrigeration system. So in order to create a refrigeration effect in a prescribed temperature range, the work was started 1 year ago. I started to work on vapor absorption cycles, vapor compression cycles, Peltier modules, thermoelectric generators. But after an intense literature review of 92 years old forgotten patent file named MyCball, which we used and we redesigned. So in this, we actually redesigned a vapor absorption cycle, and the schematic diagram has been shown over the screen. So the entire system is really very compact. It uses aqueous amino solution as a refrigerant. And during the testing, we observed the temperature drop of 4 degrees Celsius, which is sufficient to store the vaccines in a prescribed temperature range. So we were storing the vaccines in a well thermal insulated cabinet, and the cabinet was also been equipped with salt hydrate phase change materials in order to improve its thermal efficiency. And most importantly, the entire system was been made electronically controlled, so any human intervention has been not needed. So the user can keep the vaccines, and entire system would be completely autonomously monitored. Also, we have carried some thermal simulations and calculations over Coolpack software related to same refrigeration cycle. And theoretically, we got a temperature drop of 5 degrees Celsius. So few months ago, I started to work on Vaxiver phase 1. So first phase was been prototype in a wooden frame with all the regulatory circuits. And this is the final product of Vaxiver phase 1 looks like. So currently the system is equipped with dual lead acid battery. On a single charge, the system can run continuously for 3 days. Also, the system is equipped with solar panels because there are areas where there is lack of access to electricity. So solar panels can be parallelly used to run the system or to charge the batteries. So talking about implementation, like what makes my product novel to implement in the market? So I've compared Vaxiver versus conventional Coolbox versus Amvilio. Amvilio is one of the startup which was started by Manipal University recently few months ago, and versus Godrej Shootcool. So talking about most important parameters, the cost of Vaxiver is relatively very low. It costs around 4,500 rupees for 5 to 30 liters capacity. And most importantly, it consumes or it works on really very less power. It works on 24 volts of electricity, and it can maintain a temperature for 7 to 10 hours continuously for 3 days on a single battery charge. And most importantly, it can store almost around 100 to 150 ampules of vaccine vials of 10 ml capacity. Indian market potential. So currently I'm trying to target nationally 62,000 rural and government hospitals with per unit Vaxiver manufacturing cost of 4,000 rupees with selling price of 5,000 rupees. Parallelly, I'm also trying to target the 22 crores of Indian cold chain market potential for last leg vaccine transportation. This is my detailed business model canvas. In short to say, I'm also trying to target the government pool procurement agencies, which actually manufactures the vaccines and distributes the vaccines to local immunization sessions in villages or at local medicals or hospitals. So talking particularly about implementation map. So currently I live in Pune region, Maharashtra. So I have actually targeted some of the regional pool procurement agencies at local panchayats and at some local government hospitals in Pune region. Also, we have been supported with some of the incubation support from my institution and DST funding. Parallelly, our institution has done a tie-up with Bharati Vidyapeeth Medical College of Engineering, where we are currently working on phase 2 of Vaxiver prototyping, which is kind of a backpack kind of structure, which is more ergonomically and aesthetically better. And after that, we would be approaching Serum Institute for our phase 2 prototyping prototype. Soon we would be approaching at national pool procurement agencies, and after some period of time, we would go globally. So after successful implementation, this is one of the speculative revenue model. So in short to say, if you try to target only Maharashtra for 1 year, we would be generating some of their revenue. But after successful after successful implementation covering all over the India, we would be generating enough revenue for global expansion. So talking particularly about impact. So with Vaxiver, we promote greater vaccine safety with active cooling technology. Most importantly, it can store a high number of vaccines at lesser cost. It can be also used to store insulins, medical samples at hospitals, vaccine distributors, military use, and at local immunization sessions in villages. So coming up to last slide of my presentation, that is socio-economical and technological impact. So every year the world faces vaccine crisis. With Vaxiver, we can also help improve the vaccine delivery at its peak efficiency, and also we can help reduce the vaccine wastage by 65%. So with Vaxiver, saving lives by accelerating access to immunization. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm open to questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We'll take the questions now. Judges, do we have any questions? You can either unmute and ask them, or you can put it on the chat box and we'll read it out.
Yeah, hi Rutvik, Abhijit here.
Hello, sir.
Hi, so I just have a few questions for you. First of all, it's impressive the kind of work you're doing. So kudos to you and keep up the work. I'll just go and ask the first question, which is you mentioned in the slide that you're also trying to make it sustainable in terms of powering it with solar panels, right?
Yes, sir.
So how long does your prototype last on solar power itself, or is it just supporting it for only a few hours of the day?
Yes, sir. So talking particular about solar panel integration. So current for my phase one of Vaxor, I was using dual lead acid battery of 24 volts. So these batteries are compatible for continuous working for 3 days. And also the system is not continuously run. So like once we create a temperature drop of around 4 degrees Celsius, the refrigeration setup would be turned off and cooling effect would be stayed inside the chamber. So talking particular about solar panels. So solar panels can parallelly be used to run the system if enough sunlight exposure has been available, or it can be used to recharge the batteries. So basically, like during testing, we observed these solar panels are generally giving a constant voltage of 25 volts. We are using some regulators. So it takes almost around 6 hours to recharge the batteries, or either else we can use parallelly to run the system.
All right. So basic understanding, your system is self-sustainable.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. And you also mentioned a roadmap of how you plan to make sure that market adopts your product.
Yes, sir.
Is this prototype applicable for all the vaccines out there?
Yes, so basically the prototype is compatible for almost 95% of vaccines. And also like being a mechanical engineer, I'm also working more on the refrigeration cycle, which we have tried to propose to create more of the temperature drop till minus 10 degrees Celsius. So we can also cover the remaining 5% of vaccine market as well. But most commonly we use the normal vaccines or any kind of vaccines. Like in one of the slide, I tried to show some of the vaccines which are most commonly used. So that vaccines are compatible to get stored in vaccine.
All right, understood. And what exactly is the ROI of your overall project? If you could just elaborate on that.
So can you please explain or just give me a full form of ROI if I didn't?
So ROI is basically return on investment, whatever money is invested in the beginning and minus the cost that you're incurring as working capital, that is taken as an ROI. So if you already have an idea, that's good. If not, then I would definitely like to discuss on that.
Yes, so like I've just not started working more on marketing stuff, but I've just came up with some of the speculator revenue. So I've just thought about if I'm manufacturing 100 units of Vaxsaver, and these are the expenses which would be covered to manufacture 100 units of Vaxsaver, and this would be the total returns which I would be getting, but these are tentative.
Okay, you mentioned fixed operating cost.
Yes,
This
sir.
is obviously for furniture, patenting, and trademark. For developing your machine, what is exactly the amount that you're charging to your customers, which you obviously have mentioned later on, but I just want to understand the cost which is incurred to you for developing these machines.
For developing Vaxsaver, right?
Yes.
So yeah, for phase 2 of Vaxsaver using additive manufacturing processes and everything, so it would be costing around 4,000 rupees per unit, but we are thinking for a selling price of 5,000 rupees for 1 unit of Vaxsaver. And if we want to improve the storage capacity, say if the customer wants 30 liters capacity of Vaxsaver, so it would be costing around 8,000 rupees per unit of Vaxsaver, and manufacturing cost would be almost nearby 6,000 rupees.
All right. What exactly is your team profile? Is it only you solo, or you have other people as well?
Yeah, currently we are a team of 2 members. One of my partner is not available, and we are also guided under 2 of our mentors, which are currently in heat transfer professors at our institute.
All right. So you're taking care of the technical part and your partner?
Yes, and also in the backend, like we are working on Vaxsaver phase 2, in which we have collaborated some of the computer science students. We're also trying to integrate IoT, we can say like electronic vaccine intelligence network. So we are also currently a team of 4 members in the backend.
Right. Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Do we have any other questions?
Is there time?
I think we can take 1 or 2 more questions, sir.
Okay, I'll just ask a couple of questions. Can you go to the competition slide, Ritvik?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many boxes, refrigeration boxes, do you think are sold in Maharashtra in a year? Your first year's target is 741 boxes in Maharashtra. So that 741 is what percentage of the total market in terms of
Yes, sir.
units?
So talking particular about if we say only Maharashtra region, so like almost there are like number of rural and government hospitals. So there are almost like 1,482. So I'm just assuming if I'm selling 50% of wax saver boxes to this local hospitals. So 741 is like tentative number, which I can say, but parallelly the number may rise because the revenue, the model which I've designed is just targeting government hospitals. But if there are some private hospitals and also some local immunization sessions in villages and some medical facilities, if we try to cover up all those things, so possibly the number of units sold in 1 year at Maharashtra targeting may go around 1,000 or above that. Tentatively, yeah.
Just remember, Rutvik, that in the government channel, typically sales happen via a tender.
Yes, sir.
And to be able to execute a tender, you need huge production capacity.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
That's one. Just a point. And second question, go back to the competition slide. So Chotu Cool, Godrej, is it a market failure or a market success? It's a case study. It's a Harvard Business School case study.
Yes, sir.
But from a market perspective, is it a failure or is it a success?
From market perspective, actually, there was a Harvard case study, so it was a big failure for Godrej Chotu Cool.
So Godrej, despite having such a reputed brand name, such great marketing, they're the finest brains mentoring them for the project. Why do you think they failed?
Because mostly they tried to target rural areas, and also they were trying to focus on some refrigeration.
So
setup, like,
wrong customer segment choice. That's
yeah,
what you're saying?
exactly.
Okay. Okay. So Ritik, I don't have any more questions. Just congratulations on the work that you are doing and good luck. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Team Backsaver, for that amazing presentation. Now we have Team Think Ahead. Please remember you have 7 minutes to present, and you will hear a buzzer sound at the end of the 6th and the 7th minute. Your presentation will be then followed by a short Q&A session.
Is my voice audible and screen visible?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Good evening, respected judges and dear colleagues. I am Tushar Pare and my teammate Sanif Pasu. We are from AD Jatim College, New Delhi. I would like to thank the organizing team for this event. Now, I would like to present an idea under plastic waste management and plastic alternative. For our problem statement, everyone, we will start with an example. Everyone knows about Zomato, and what they don't know is how much waste they generate. Just one small disposable spoon, if accumulated, it will comprise 22,000 tons of plastic waste generated per month from all over delivery portals in India. So if taken, one single disposable spoon is so much harmful for our environment, and once it goes to landfill, it will remain there for hundreds of years, because recycling these spoons is more higher cost than producing new ones. And here we have a proposed solution. Spoons made with wheat bran, replacing the regular disposable spoons to an alternate. And this alternate is very eco-friendly, as well as the raw material to procure it is a wastage, which is wheat bran. In wheat mills, more than hundreds of tons of wastage is produced daily or monthly basis, but it doesn't have any other alternate use. So converting that waste into a product is a new concept, and that's our idea. For a prototype, with rupees 1,000, we can get 2,500 spoons. As for competitor analysis, there are competitors for edible spoons. For example, Edible Pro, Moneta Baking Industries, Ediwears, and Ataware. These are the companies which are in the market for last 3 to 5 years. And the biggest drawback is they use flour, sugar, and many other edible products. They have costly raw materials, have low production capacity. They sell their items at high price because of the cost of production. They have limited the customer segmentation because only a few shopkeepers or restaurant owners can buy their product. And the unique selling proposition for our plan is generally wheat grain goes to wheat mill and they produce two things. One, a flour and the wastage, which is bran. The flour gets sold as packed food item, but the bran gets thrown away and doesn't have any further use. So here comes us converting that wastage into a product. And the second USP of our product is the pricing. Normally there are alternate for plastic spoons, which is wood spoon. For that will be bought at rupees 1000, which is 500 spoons. And second is bagasse spoons derived from banana wastage. These spoons with rupees 1000 you can get only 600 spoons or less. But here we come wheat bran spoons, where with the same amount rupees 1000 you will be getting 2500 spoons or 2000 spoons depending on the weather. Now comes target beneficiary. First, our target are restaurants, and how we'll be contacted them through collaboration with Zomato and Swiggy, because Zomato has over 1.4 million listed restaurants, whereas Swiggy has over 140,000 listed restaurants, which will be after collaboration we will be attaining those restaurants. The second is Swiggy and Zomato. Zomato has over 21 million monthly orders and Swiggy has 1.5 million orders daily, giving us a huge opportunity to sell our product to those restaurant owners and to these services. Number third is airlines. In May 2019, Etihad Airways introduced edible coffee cups to reduce its plastic usage. Similarly, they are adapting to new alternate changes where we will come in handy because our product has lightweight and cost less to produce as well as to buy. Now, lastly is food delivery services. To reduce plastic waste, Zomato opted their send cutlery option, but customers demand cutlery more and more. To solve this problem, we have the alternate available. And the financials and impact. One manufacturing unit will cost rupees 10 lakh, where machinery will cost rupees 4 lakh, reserve for 1 lakh rupees, and the working capital will be 5 lakh rupees, including labor charges, electricity, and rent. And daily production capacity is 1 lakh spoons. Production cost for each spoon will be 40 paisa, and selling price of each spoon will be 60 paisa, meaning the profit margin will be 50%. Total production of 1 year will be 3 crore spoons. The revenue will be 1 crore 80 lakh rupees, and as well as the annual profit generated will be 60 lakh rupees. And we are planning to do this project in contract manufacturing. By contract manufacturing to setting up 10 manufacturing units, our 1 year total production will be 30 crores, revenue will be 10 crore 80 lakh, and annual profit will be 6 crore. With 10 manufacturing units all over India, total plastic replaced will be 300 tons in 1 year, where compared to in Delhi itself produces 689 tons of wastage, where we will be reducing the wastage of plastic by 300 tons. And last but not least, we created something that you don't eat, which is wheat bran, to something you can eat with, which is wheat. And thank you. Now we are open to questions.
Judges, do we have any questions?
Yeah. Hi, Tushar. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah. So I just had a couple of questions. You very nicely mentioned your pricing compared to your competitors. Could you please elaborate on your pricing compared to the plastic spoons that are already there in the market? How good or bad you are?
Yes, sir. For basically plastic spoons, it will be costing similar to our wheat bran spoons. The amount, if with 10 rupees you can get 20 spoons, then at 10 rupees you will get 15 wheat bran spoons, because the wastage is wheat bran, and the companies, they just throw it out, and we can provide them a revenue model by purchasing those wheat bran, or they can just donate us so that we can convert it into a product and sell it. And the companies can include in their portfolio that they are working for sustainable development. They are increasing the sustainable goals by providing something that no one other is providing. And as well, we speak for plastic, it will stay in the landfill for hundreds of years, but our spoon, wheat bran spoon, will just stay for 30 days to 40 days in the landfill, and it will biodegrade itself after one use.
All right. So do you currently have any users? Is this a prototype or is this still on the charts?
It's actually in the prototyping phase. Now we are going to introduce this product to customer review by producing some 2,000 to 5,000 spoons and take their feedback. Then we will be starting to analyze the actual cost and revenue proposition. Then we will be planning to patent our process.
Right. No, so a couple of suggestions as well. Apart from obviously doing and pitching what you're already doing, you can also pitch how well you are improving company's carbon footprint as well, because
Yes,
this is something of a pressing issue. And another thing, there is one company named as Twice, TWIICE, in New Zealand. So they are doing similar things. What they are doing is what you mentioned, I think, using flour and wheat and other materials such as sugar as well for making cups as well as spoons. So maybe you should explore them as well apart from your Indian counterparts. It would be good for your knowledge.
okay, sir.
Right. All right. Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
Hey,
Another
Tushar. Yeah. Hi, Tushar. Good work. So just one clarification. The spoon that you are selling, it's not edible, right?
Sir, it's actually edible, but I won't recommend to eat because it don't have any taste. It will be just feel like you are eating wheat, chapati, dried chapati.
Okay. Okay. So one question and one suggestion. The question is, I looked at your financials. These are all rounded figures. You said machinery 5 lakhs, right? So it looks like a very, very attractive income expenditure sheet. When you get into business, life will be slightly different. But is actually machinery available in only 4 lakh rupees?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there are no marketing costs. You don't really need any people to do this, labor, etc. So that gets involved in the production cost.
Yes, sir. That will come under the production cost.
But at what scale? So you say at what scale will actually the production cost come down to 40 paisa?
Sir, just like I said earlier, wheat mills companies like Ashirwad Atta, they will be just after collaborating with them, they can provide us their wastage
Tushar,
at the minimum
I
price
understand.
of 5 rupees per kg or free.
No, Tushar, I understand. But you will need to procure that, bring it to your factory to actually produce it. All that's cost, right? All that is cost. So which means this 40 paisa per spoon will be achieved at a certain scale. It's okay if you don't have the answer now, right? But 40 paisa will not happen at 2000 spoon. It may happen at 20 lakh spoon or 2 crore spoons, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you just want to work on this to get a more realistic income expenditure thing. Okay.
Okay.
The second is, see, if I am running a business, this is a suggestion, by the way, whatever Abhijit sir told you about the carbon footprint, do think about it. Okay. Maybe that's the route that's going to get you business. Do study whatever he recommended. See, when I'm doing business, if I'm a restaurant, right? Honestly, I don't really care about the environment. Honestly, if I am running a restaurant and I'm your potential customer, if I get plastic spoons for a price which is cheaper than your wheat bran spoons, I will not stop using plastic spoons. And I am in the majority currently, right? Because I am in a business where whatever little limited money I save, it helps me. Okay. You just want to check that whether your wheat brand spoons can actually become competitive compared to the dominant spoon in the market, which is plastic spoon perhaps, or perhaps a steel spoon, which is washed and reused, right? A steel spoon can be washed and reused maybe 1,500 times. Vis-a-vis a wheat brand spoon goes away. So from your local tellers to small shop owners to small hotels, what's the cost per spoon? We just want to look at that. Okay, but good job anyways. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Think Ahead. Judges, please note this was Team Think Ahead, not Team EcoClean. Is Team EcoClean here?
Yeah, am I audible and visible properly?
You're not visible. Your camera is not on.
Is it visible now?
Yeah. Now we will have Team EcoClean to present. Please note that you have 7 minutes to present, which will be followed by a short Q&A session at the end of 6 minutes, and at the end of 7 minutes, we will hear a buzzer sound. All right, so please take note. You can present now. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Team EcoClean, are you presenting? Judges, please take one note that the last team was team number 3. And this is team number 2, the one that's going next. So please kindly adjust the scoring accordingly. Team EcoClean, are you guys here? Okay. We'll move ahead and go on with team The One. This is team number 4. Team The One, are you guys ready?
Am I visible?
Yeah, great. Judges,
second.
this is team 4.
I'm just waiting for my teammate.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Let me know when you start.
You can start.
Very good evening, respected judges and my fellow friends. My name is Ashish and my teammate Pooja is here. We are here to present Krishi Inspire. For any innovation, there's always 3 things. There's an inspiration, there's identifying the problem, and coming up with an optimal and feasible way of finding the solution. When it comes to inspiration, we take it from our farmers, which is Krishi, because they utilize most of the resources efficiently and minimize their wastage. When it comes to identifying their problem, we chose the problem statement as water because it's the driving force of all nature. And based on a WHO survey, 1.2 billion people are significantly compromised of obtaining fresh water as industries dump up to 300 to 400 million tons of effluents every year, which harms the ecological balance and leads to leaching of the soil. Effluents are basically nutrient-enriched, undesired water, which are released by industries, released into the rivers. The government spends up to 40 crores annually to treat wastewater. And with my proposal, bioorganics can save 40% with the expense of time. The harmful effects of these are death of aquatic life, degradation of water bodies, disruption of the food chain, as well as the entire ecosystem. Let's see a small survey where we can see that 4 locations were selected, that is rural, suburban, urban, and industrial. And you can see that the COD and BOD, which is the chemical oxygen demand and the biological oxygen demand, is drastically increasing along the regions because the effluent levels keep on increasing, and this may lead to non-sustainable things in the long run. So our approach is based on a circular economy, which is a systematic approach to economical development designed to benefit society as well as the environment. It is based on 3 principles, basically, that is design on waste and pollution, keep products and materials in use, as well as needs generate natural ecosystems. So coming to our solution, our holistic approach is based on a pioneering vision that aims to reduce these impurities that affects the agriculture. To fight this scenario, we from Krishi Inspiro have come up with our own equipment, which is a prototype which you can see in the bottom half over here, which is an aerobic tank consisting of industrial effluents and a miracle sample called spirulina, which purifies it, which I will be explaining it in the future slide. Before that, we'll go to a SWOT analysis. Basically, the plus sides of the product are its bioenergy. It uses no harmful synthetic chemicals. It is less expensive and it is easily available. Filtrate of a prototype is rich as source of protein and nutritious for the soil. Experiment greenhouse gases are consumed in the process and vital oxygen is released. Area consumption is significantly less and power consumption is cost effective. The weakness is, since it's a biological process, it is time consuming, but it can be optimized by using catalysts. Some of the opportunities are, it has a wide range of target audience, that is government sector, agriculture sector, petrochemical, textile, as well as food sector as the release effluents. It boosts the business of spirulina farming and also is an organic approach. Soil integrity is also maintained. The competition right now is graphene filters by Bearstream, Lockheed, and Baby Bio, which is more efficient and expensive currently in Sweden. Biodegradable chemicals are also underway, which may be a competition for our product. So let's understand how it works. We have created a model and a prototype of an aerobic tank, which consists of industrial effluents whose volume and temperature are monitored and regulated by a microprocessor. Spirulina sp, which we synthesized in CFTI laboratory, is a blue-green algae present in the primary tank, which you can see over here, and does it magic called protein biosynthesis, converts all the hazardous nitrates and phosphates into desirable protein, and hence purifies the water. This also releases oxygen and is a biodegradable algae. The filtrate which is obtained at the end of the process can be used as a fertilizer at the end. As you can see a flow chart, you can see we have automated using an Arduino board by a turbidity sensor, and this is the Spirulina SP which we have used. I would like to give to Pooja. Pooja, are you there?
Yeah. So in the aquatic tank, we'll be adding chlorella, spirulina, and all these things. So what chlorella does it removes lead ions. So as you know, lead is fully poisonous, and spirulina also absorbs all the heavy metals like antimony, chromium, and all. And Borderico's brownie also does the same. And all these things are added to the aerobic tanks with the industrial effluents and with the Arduino microcontroller monitoring the temperature and the volume, will be filtering it out. Next. So as you can see this is our prototype. So what we'll be doing is we'll be keeping a primary tank. So for that, once when the industrial effluents are added, we'll add the spirulina into it. And then spirulina does the magic of doing all the protein biosynthesis, and whatnot is it also releases oxygen, which is very sustainable, right? And after a certain amount of time, all the impurities are absorbed by the algae and it settles at the bottom. So one thing to be noted is whatever settles at the bottom can be used as a fertilizer, so which will be covered next, and also clean water will be passed into the next secondary tank, which can be further used. So this is how it works. Next slide. So this is our business plan. As you can see, the nature of business is like the location we are planning to set up is in Bangalore. So initial investment will be up around 10 lakhs. So we are targeting effluent discharge industries and domestic farmers. And also the cost of tank per kg, depending on the requirement, is 60 rupees per kg. And cost of automation is rupees 1000. And cost of spirulina per kg is rupees 600. And cost of aerators and filters is around 1,500 to 10,000. And the average cost will be around 5,000 for domestic use. And for industrial application, it will be around 20,000. So you can see our product, that is Krishi Inspiro, our profit will be 309 per consumer. So yes. Next slide.
Okay. Since the buzzer burst, I'll just finish now. As you can see, the advantages are, as I told, it's sustainable, eco-friendly, and less power consuming. It paves way to conserving the environment and preventing adopting sustainable practices for farmers and less reliance on non-renewable energy, and helps us save scarce resources. Through this method, we can conserve water by implementing recycling of water, as well as promoting the algal farms and fertilizers. So this is just a for comparison where Spirulina 10 liters of effluents per 250 grams purifies it, whereas chemicals take 1250 per kg, and the same thing for 10 liters for purification. The revenue streams will generate because right now there are actually 242,395 units of industries and 1 lakh units are in our vicinity, and 50,000 domestic, 50 lakh domestic farmers gets affected, and hence they fall in our target audience. And our marketing strategy is having viral strategy, having early bird offers, and collaborating with environment events such as Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and social media as well. And we have multiple users as product installation and service, and also giving back the fertilizer to the farmers. We like to acknowledge CFTRI team because we utilized their lab and made this Spirulina over there. These are the references which we took it from. By utilizing the principle of industries and domestic agriculture waste management, we can promote sustainable development goals as well as promote our farmers in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan as well. This will pave way to agri farm business and energy purifiers. Economic growth must not undermine our pristine environment. Only through clean, green, and sustainable energy that we offset can we replenish our vital ecosystem. Thank you. And these are one of the awards which we won in previous competitions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judges, we'll take the questions now.
Yes, hi Ashish.
Hi, sir.
So I had a question about, is this solution already in use somewhere in India or outside?
No, sir, it is not in use anywhere. We're currently trying to patent it.
Okay, so this will be the first product launch in the market with this application, is it?
They've used other algae on only specific algae, like only Spirulina or only Chlorella. What we have done is we have combined 4 algae together, as I mentioned over here. 1 second. Yeah, we have combined all the 4 algae to combinedly get more effect out of the Spirulina. It is more efficient.
All right. So this solution will be the first one for agriculture industry, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And just a suggestion, going forward, you should be using less content as in written content on your presentations and more visuals. See, going forward, people will be interested in you, you know, and I wish you the best that you go to that stage. And if, let's just say, you talk to people, investors particularly, they will not have time to read all these content. So you need to be crisp and correct. That's what it has to be. And this is a suggestion for everybody else as well, that even though I'm not promoting this, the Shark Tank version of India, but this is something which you must do, which is starting off, I guess, next week or so, because the kind of pitches which will be coming there will be a good lesson for everybody. And for everybody else as well, you should also go to platforms like SlideBean, which offers you great presentation templates that can be useful to you later on, you know. So just a quick suggestion. Sure. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Ashish and Pooja, good job. Couple of questions. One is for myself. So when you have the affluent generation industries, typically, what percentage of their total revenue do they spend on setting up such plants? Right, a rough estimate. If a company is generates revenue of, let's say, 1 crore per year,
right, sir,
how much money does it actually spend, according to you, in these activities currently?
65%, 60 to 70 range.
So they spend 68% of the total revenue in ensuring that the effluents are processed.
Yes, sir. They have to spend more money because they have set standards, and that will be more huge.
Okay. So they spend, if a company is making 1 crore a year, you're saying they spend 65 lakh rupees in processing their waste.
For setting up the unit, initially it will take so much, sir. After that, it will be financed.
Okay, so I'm talking about the operational expenses. Typically.
Operational expenses per after setting up, it will be around 10 to 20%.
10 to 20%. Okay, and so which means that companies will have to move away from whatever they have set up to install your thing, or the same setup can be utilized just that the algae will be different. Can you?
Yes, sir. Setup will be same. Only the raw material will be changed.
So if I already have a setup, and if you prove to me that yours is more effective and cheaper, I don't really have to change my setup. Huh?
No need to change the setup. We can just add the spirulina sample and we can start continuing.
Okay, and how much does it cost to transport the raw material to this cleaning tanks? Is there a huge transportation cost involved in transporting this stuff?
No, sir. Just as you can see, we're using just ceramic containers for spirulina. It will not minimal charges like usual transportation fee and.
So there is no specific temperature under which they have to be stored, etc. It can be taken at regular room temperature.
This is highly regulated temperature, and spirulina, it feeds on sunlight actually, so it withstands high temperatures as well.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Ashish. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, team Dhawan. Before we move on to the next team, I hope the audience is listening in and keeping a note of their ideas. We'll check in with you guys at the end. Now we will have team Eco Clean. Judges, please note, this is team 2. Eco Clean, do we have you guys here?
I will just share my screen.
Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you.
Is my screen visible now?
It's not.
Just give me a sec. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is.
Judges, shall I begin?
Yes.
I'm here to say our house is on fire. I want you to act as if you would in crisis. I want you to act as if your house is on fire, because it really is. A very warm good evening to one and all present here. I, Shubham Sharma, along with my teammate Ritika Rathore, take this wonderful opportunity to present before you my sustainable business model, Project Sankalp. In the words of climate activist Greta Thunberg, human civilization will come to an end if climate change is not controlled. Do you know what's the biggest contributor for the climate change? It's none other than pollution. Last year, according to the report by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, pollution has caused 12 lakhs deaths nationwide. And that's a devastating number to quote here. And approximately half of the deaths are caused in nearby areas of capital city Delhi. No wonder why the capital city Delhi is in the top of the world most polluted cities ranking. The states adjoining Delhi produce more than 70 to 80% of stubble burning. But the farmers in these states are not doing this activity willfully, but they are doing it because they do not have any other alternative option available to them. So how innovatively we are solving this problem under Project Sankalp. The main target communities of Project Sankalp are the farmers of Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, and the rag picker community living near Delhi Meerut Highway. In the rag picker community, the male of the family are involved in rag picking, while the female of the family make paddy brooms. But nowadays, due to COVID-19 and continuous exploitation, female also started rag picking, leaving this unique art to dying and further putting their life into danger. So how solution of this business model work? Under Project Sankalp, we will employ the rag picker community to clear and collect the stubble from the farmers' paddy fields. After clear and collection, it will be segregated into two different parts, that is useful stubble and non-useful stubble. Useful stubble will be converted into fine paddy brooms with the help of our trained female rag pickers. A thin layer of bioplastic made up of kawasa starch will also be made around the brooms to give it more sustainability and durability. The non-useful stubble will be converted into compost and other handicraft materials. All the product produced under brand name Sankalp will be then sold into the market using various online platforms and our very own Sankalp application. Now, to further simplify, I would like to explain Sankalp business plan with this circular flow model. Under Project Sankalp, we aim at sustainability. We are not aiming at creating a business, but a sustainable business. From collecting of raw material from farmers' field to its segregation and then conversion of stubble into brooms and compost, everything will be done keeping societal and environmental benefit at the priority. Now coming to the Sankalp digital application, it will be a revolutionary app in the agricultural domain, which will help us in seamless connection between farmers and our other all stakeholders to the business model. This app will focus on one-to-one communication, will have dual login tabs for farmers and customers, along with the calling feature. Through this application, farmer will be able to upload information regarding location and quantity of stubble in the farmer's login tab, and notification to the collection agent will also be sent through this application only. Latest information and advancement in the agricultural sector will also be sent to the collection agent through this application, and customers can also buy our product by logging into customers login tab at the later stage. Now product and USP. Under brand name Sankalp, we are producing 3 products, that is broom, cutlery and compost. All the products will be very eco-friendly because they will be made up of paddy stubble, and they will be durable and affordably priced in comparison to their competitive products which are currently available in the market. Also, these kind of brooms are not currently available in the market, so we will have first mover advantage in our business model, which is very important for any business model. Now coming to the societal and ethical analysis. With Project Sankalp, we are not focusing on creating a business or just minting money. We are also focusing on social and ethical development of our country. With that, these are the following aims of our business model. First is employment generation, and definitely this project will help in reducing air as well as plastic pollution, waste management, recognizing the unique art of these rag pickers people and marginalized communities, and make them self-sufficient and help this unique art from dying. Moreover, we will be working on UN Sustainable Development Goal, that is good health and well-being, decent work and economic growth, climate action, responsible consumption and production. This is the market analysis. So the total market size of the cleaning industry is 4,500 crores, and out of that 2,500 crores belong to the broom segment. So this shows that we have a very good market opportunity to tap on, and we have a very sustainable market to tap on. Now coming on to the graph on the right hand side, it shows that the maximum revenue generating segment in the broom in the cleaning industry is broom by the year 2022 out of the all other segments. So all our product have a very good market opportunity, will definitely generate a huge revenue for us in our business model. Next is the SWOT analysis. The strength of our business model is that curb air as well as plastic pollution. All our product will be available at a very affordably and competitive prices. Also with in our business model, with a very low initial investment, we can have a high revenue. And the low initial investment is not only our strength but also our weakness, because with that we will not be able to cater the large part of the market. And the threat will be the competition from already existing brands, and the risk of new entrant will be always there in the market. The opportunities will be easy fund attraction from government scheme and CSR activities, and definitely the first mover advantage will be a great opportunity for us, and also the large potential market available in this business model. Now this is the cost analysis. The cost depicted in this slide is on the basis of our on-ground research in the villages of Ravli and Surana in Ghaziabad district. For our pilot project, we will be taking 10 acres of land, and for that, from 10 acres of land, we can easily produce 20 tons of rice stubble. Initially, under Project Sankalp, we are producing 3 products, that is broom, compost, and handicraft disposable cutlery. For making brooms, we will be using 15 tons of rice stubble, and for compost and disposable cutlery, we will be using 5 tons respectively. The main reason behind diversification at the initial stage is only that we want to keep our business model very sustainable, and we do not in the problem. 50 tons of rice, we can easily make 18,000 brooms, and from that selling of 18,000 broom, we can generate a revenue of 15 lakhs on an average. And from compost, we can generate a revenue of 3,60,000, and from handicraft and disposable cutlery, the revenue generated will be in and around 1,35,000. Just give me a minute, I will wrap up. These are the last slides only. This is the cumulative cost, the cost of clearing land, wages, transportation. So from in our initial model, we have to invest an amount of 10 lakh. And from that 10 lakh in an initial quarter of 6 months, we can generate a revenue of 20 lakh, which shows the financial feasibility of our business model. the revenue, these are the revenue model and streams. The revenue model that which we will be following will be the transaction model, that is revenues earned per unit sold. Revenue stream will be brooms, selling brooms, compost, handicraft and cutlery. The channels will be personal selling, retail selling and online selling. These are the financial projections. By the end of year 2026, we aim at becoming the next unicorn company of the nation, with aiming at 6 billion in revenues. That's all from my side. Now I open the floor for question to the judges. Thank you for this opportunity.
Judges will take the questions now.
Yeah, good evening, Shivam.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had a few questions for you. Could you please share your thoughts over the market awareness and the education that has to be imparted to all those farmers which will be using your application?
Yes, sir. Farmers, I will just move on to the annexure slides. These are the farmers. Basically, sir, the problem is not that the farmers are willfully doing this activity of stubble burning. They are doing it because they do not have any alternative options available. Also, the government schemes that are currently available to the farmers are not that much reaching to the farmers at the main end. They are just on the papers and not into the on-ground reality, according to our research. And that's the main reason why every year this issue of stubble burning is persisting, and like Delhi and other northern areas are becoming gas chambers in the month of November to December or October, sir. So these are the things. And like on the farmers, when we have talked to them, they have said like they are the ones who suffer the most, and they will be more than happy if there is something easy or sustainable which we can associate with them. So we will be more than happy to associate with the business models, and which can definitely help us. And in our business model, the farmers will not be having to pay any expenses. We will be employing the rack pickers who will clear and collect the stubble from their fields, and they will be clearing all the land. So farmers will not be having to pay any cost to them. And also we will be giving compost to free of cost to the farmers as an association, so that our association with the farmers will be a growthful association. They do not think like that we are only taking something from them and not giving them anything in the back. So to make the a relationship very growthful, we will be giving them compost free of cost, which will definitely help in switching from conventional farming to the organic farming, which will definitely help them in better revenue generation from their crops.
Right. Interesting. So maybe we could also, like to think about how you could have representatives who are teaching all these farmers how to use their application. Just a suggestion. All right.
Yeah.
Second question is, in one of your slides about, I think, market analysis, you had mentioned total cleaning industry. So
Yes.
what is the overall market you have taken? A particular state, India, world? What is it actually?
So India, it is India.
It's India. All right. And you have also done some research in 2 of the particular states.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, not state and the districts in which we will be
Alright.
implementing this plan. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
District. That is Ghaziabad, adjoining to Delhi.
In Ghaziabad. Yeah, absolutely. So what exactly is the life of your broom as compared to the existing brooms of, say, any wood or even plastic brooms? How is it holding up
So
during
the
cleaning
current-
process? Any feedback on
yeah,
that?
sir. So currently the brooms that are available into the market are 2 kinds of broom. One is the plastic brooms and other is the Assamese bamboo grass broom, which is currently available in the market. The time span of these broom is range from 20 days to 30 days. And on an average, like in 1 month, these broom go waste. You have to throw up, you will not be able to do as much cleaning. And also it will depend on the size of the house, which is it is being used. If the area is large, then definitely the broom will lost its quality over a period of small tenure in comparison to the month. If the like area which we are cleaning with the help of broom, if it is large, then the broom will definitely reduce its quality in few days. So that's the thing, sir. And on an average, our broom will go, if we are taking a normal cleaning area, our broom will definitely go to a time span of 1 month to approximately 45 days, sir. That's the
Right. Yeah. So see, that's what happens in B2C models. We have to tackle directly on to all those who are the ones as decision makers. So in a normal household, all the Kambali buys and people who are cleaning up, say in hotels or something. Yeah.
Yes.
So there, the user experience has to be taken care. And going forward, maybe you want to work on that as well.
Yes.
And last question would be, what exactly is the cost comparison for the broom as well as the compost that you are having compared to the current products?
So the cost of current broom which is available into the market is approximately around like 100 to 120 rupees, or on an average more than that. And on the rate of our broom will be approximately 50 to 120. The differentiation in the cost of the broom is according to the quality and the size of the broom. So we will be selling on an average from 50 to 120 kind of brooms on a large broom, or these are the modified broom which can customize according to the need of the consumer, so which will satisfy, because we will be targeting both the markets, urban market and the rural markets. If you go to the rural market, the consumer is not going to buy a very costly brooms on an average. So for that, we will be reducing a quality a bit, and also the size of the broom to make it more to make it more suitable for the needs of the rural customers. So that's the price differentiation in our price model, that is 50 to 120 on an average. That the normal broom that are available in the market, they go from 80 to 130 or 120 or maybe 150.
Right, but what about the cost comparison for the compost?
Yeah, sir. The compost is on an average same. So the compost that is available in the market, like agri compost of the brooms that is available, is pricely almost same as our broom, so which is 60 per kg. So
All right, sounds great. It's good you are working on a very pressing point, man. So good job, keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir. Because I belong from Delhi only, so it's a very big problem here. So that's why, and I belong to the farmer family only. So that's why we thought of solving this problem and doing something from ourselves only, instead of thinking like government will do something or something. We will definitely present our plan to Delhi government and other governments. So we will get any funds or seed funding for our business model, which will definitely help our plan to run on larger scale.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. I hope you refine your solution and bring it to the market.
Yes.
Shivam, I don't have any questions, but my best wishes to you. This is
thank
good
you.
idea. Okay, but just remember, you're entering the B2C world. It's slightly complex. It's not that the whole world will start using application to start ordering brooms. Okay.
So yes.
Okay, but good luck.
So initially in our business model, we will be going through the retail market, and then we will be giving preference to the online market, because broom is a product like the consumer go to their nearest shop to buy these kind of broom. Nobody think about they will order brooms online and then it will take 2 to 3 days to come to their doorstep. Though nowadays delivery is also very fast, 10 minutes delivery or 15-minute delivery, but in some areas it will take time to deliver the brooms. So that's why we are thinking at the initial level, we are thinking about going through the retail market. That will help us capture the large part of market, and then we will we will go through the online market, definitely the Flipkart online websites and our app also.
Shiva, that actually makes it difficult, and you don't have to respond. Just a thought. If you go the mom and pop stores route, the retail stores, that will actually be much more difficult and much more expensive. Just for your consideration. Okay. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir, for your views.
Thank you, Team EcoClean. Thank you for that amazing presentation. Now we'll move ahead and we have our last presentation of the evening. Team ProF, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You have 7. Yeah, you're audible. You have 7 minutes to present, which will be followed by a Q&A session. All the best.
Thank you.
You can begin.
Yes. My slide is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. So good evening to all. So my team name is ProF and I am Nilesh, and this is Valani, my team member. See, my product name is Iron Fortified ProF beverage. And I'm starting from the introduction. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the people become more health conscious and the demanding of immune boosting products has drastically increased. The anemia is widespread in India. Around 58.6% of the children and 53.2% of the non-pregnant women and the 50.4% of the pregnant women were found to be anemic in 2006 as per NFH's range. The whey is a byproduct of the paneer, chana, and cheese, which leads to the burden on ETP because whey has a higher value of BOD and COD, which leads to impact on the environment and increase the pollution. Here is the picture of the paneer whey, cheese whey, and here is the flow diagram of the ETP. Nowadays, people demanding innovative, cheap, and refreshing beverages, and funnel sets gives a refreshing effect to the consumer. Functional product having a tremendous opportunity nowadays. Here is the product description. The product is made with the whey, which is a byproduct, additionally fortified it with iron and vitamin C in content to people who are suffering from the anemia disease. The paneer whey is fermented with the probiotic culture, namely Streptococcus thermophilus and the Lactobacillus salviaticus, which helps in boosting immune system. The fennel seeds added as a flavor, which acts as a prebiotic and give a refreshing effect to the consumer. The fennel seeds contain the FOS and GOS, which act as a prebiotic. Prebiotics is nothing but the food for probiotics. The flow diagram from this ProF beverage is the first of all take the paneer whey, filtration and clarification is done, then heating at 90 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, then the cooling is done at 37 degrees Celsius, and the addition of the probiotic culture at the rate of 1.5% at a ratio of 1:1. Then incubation is done at 37 degrees Celsius for 12 hours. Here is the incubation time is we can decrease the addition of the more culture or increase the rate of culture. Here the addition of the flavor and sugar at 7% and the addition of the as a flavor at funnel seed is added at 2%. The addition of the iron powder and the ascorbic acid at the rate of 20% of RDA basis. The packaging is done in the LDP bottles, then the store under the refrigerated condition. Here is the cost calculation for the products. The total cost of the product is 15 rupees per liter. Here is the product composition is there. The calorific value of the 60. And here is the shelf life of the product is 7 days when stored under refrigerated condition. There is a packaging is done in the plastic LDP bottles, and the serving size of the product is 180 ml per serving. The sensory evaluation is done by the SMC College of Dairy Science by the faculties as well as students during our trial, and they give a good score around 8 out of 9 in the 9-point hedonic scale. The advantage of the ProF beverage is that this is product with fortified with the iron and vitamin C, which is vitamin C is here increase the bioavailability of the iron. Then the enhancing the immune system, it's because it's contain the probiotics. The probiotics help to balance the friendly bacteria in your digestive system, helping to prevent and treat diarrhea, reduce the severity of certain allergies, boost your immune system. Iron play a vital role in the immune system functions, treating anemia and the boosting hemoglobin. This is environment friendly product because it's contain a whey has it's reduced the load on ETP in the dairy industry. As it contains fennel seeds, which give a refreshing effect to consumer, it's helping in blood pressure regulation, also provide the dietary fibers and minerals. The fennel seeds act as a prebiotic which is helpful for the probiotics. Vitamin C is necessary for the growth, development, and the repair of all body tissues, and also involved in many body functions, including formation of collagen, absorption of iron, and the proper functioning of the immune system. Where economical importance, providing a surplus profit to the dairy industry by avoiding the waste of whey. The availability of the new type of beverages in the market for choice. Here, increase the competition in the markets. They provide a cheap product to the consumer. Energy management in dairy industry. Dairy industry whey is generally discouraged, which having a higher BOD and COD value, which increase the load on ETP. If discarded without treatment, it's cause pollution to the environment, and this cause they increase the cost of treatment and they require a higher capacity of ETP. But we have used this whey as a raw material, so we can prevent this pollution of the environment. Here is our target audience. The people who wants to increase their immunity, they can use this product, and also people who are suffering from the anemia disease, they can also use this product. And we can target the children in a school as a midday food. More than 30% of the school age children are suffering from the anemia. We can target the pregnant women who are suffering from anemia. They are our target audience. This similar products in the market is Amul True and Amul Seltzer, which are available in the market having a price of 10 rupees per 180 ml and 15 rupees per 200 ml respectively. Here is the reference for the product. Don't waste food. It's like a wasting of one of the most precious things given by God to us. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We'll take the questions now, judges.
Yeah, hi. Just a small suggestion, just like for one of the previous teams. Going forward.
Hello. Hello, sir. You are not audible.
So we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Right. Yeah. So yes, I was just repeating my previous comment that please use a better presentation going forward. I hope since you are preparing for business plan presentations.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, people will be coming and approaching you. So you need to be prepared in a better ways that they are very much engaged. So it's difficult to get engaged with only words on the screen. So please work on that. And I wish you luck for your venture. Over to you, Pranil.
We will do it, sir.
Nilesh, good work. There is just one question, right?
Yes, sir.
The product is in the probiotic category. Can we say the category is?
We can't say this is a probiotic product because it's a patented product. That, but we can say that this is a functional product.
Okay. So in the probiotic category, there was a launch, right? Product by the name of Yakult.
Yes, sir.
Right. It didn't particularly work. Okay, because food substitutes usually doesn't take off, right? Because a lot of people are interested in the taste component, right? We don't evaluate food basis how many calories, how many proteins, how many vitamins, right? We evaluate it most. It has to be appeal to the taste. So on that aspect, right? How do you compare yourself with Amul True and Amul Seltzer? They have so many flavors. The apple. There is a reason why they are available in flavors.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am working on the other flavor also, but I have prepared this product which having a fennel seeds flavor, which is new in the market because fennel seeds generally not available in the market when I search this in the market.
Okay, so it's one flavor. I take a note of that.
Yes, one of the innovative idea, one of the innovative flavor in the market we can put, and this product also contains the iron, which is generally not contained in other beverages.
Right, so, and since this is a food product, it will require clearance from the FSSAI and the FDAs of the world, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you on that?
Sir, I don't understand you.
So, how far in the process of getting a license are you? Have you applied for license? Because this is for consumption, right? You're talking about children in midday meal. All you want is one bottle going wrong and one child food poisoned in hospital. You're done, right?
So maybe, sir, it's take 1 or 2 years for licensing because they need to time for the testing of the product.
Okay, got it. Okay, I have no questions, Nilesh. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Team ProF. That concludes all our presentations for this evening. Thank you to all the teams. We've had some amazing presentations, and I'm sure the judges will have a hard time scoring them. Before we conclude, I would request the judges to say a few words. If it's all right, we'll start with Mr. Pranil Nayak, sir.
Yes, Sure. Thanks a lot for having me over. It's always a joy to listen to young people with great ideas. Uh, Now, to all of you, good job, and I wish you the best. But you guys are all come from a technology background. Make sure that you also uh, get access to some business mentorship, right? Uh, because while the products seem really good, in all earnestness, the income expenditure, the profitability statement that you shared were extremely stretched, as in it's too good to happen in the real world. And that also happens because you guys have not explored this earlier. So if at all possible, try and get access to some mentoring, business mentoring, someone or an institute or individuals or your investors, those who invest money in you. Don't hesitate to clearly state that business building or marketing is something that I need help on, and get those people on board, because you are product developers. It's not important or not necessary that product developers also become organization developers, right? Organization builders. Also to the organizers, the XAC, good job on putting this together. Forums like this encourage young science graduates to explore entrepreneurship. Maybe one of them wins here and gets the energy to actually go out and build into a business. It's always good. So congratulations on putting this event together. Best wishes to all the product developers, and thanks for calling me for the event. Appreciate.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Vijay Parmar, sir, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, rightly mentioned by Pranil sir. He summed it up very, very precisely. A lot of the points which were showcased in your presentations were very apt, especially a technical part, which is understandable. And he very rightly mentioned that there are still a lot of aspects which will need to be covered when you go forward, such as you might need to have a finance guy who's taking care of all your statements. You also need to have a marketing person who's already either in the industry or somehow as passionate as you are to work with you. So it's great that you are as passionate as Elias at this stage of your education. This is almost the perfect time to enter the corporate world as a startup as well. So glad that you are making the leap. And at any point of time, if you have any doubt on you yourself or your startup, just take a step back and rewind it up, change the plan, but don't go back. That's the advice that I would give as a person, since I and my team are also working on our own startup, and we are also on a journey, and we wish you all the best. And yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me for this event as well. It was a very nice experience. Kudos to you. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I'll invite Pranav to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening, participants and judges. It has been a mind-blowing, a sensational session, and it's actually my pleasure to here to represent Zach and to thank Pranil sir and Abhijit sir for their insightful ideas and critiques. And it is these critiques that are going to help us rekindle that spark and get back on track to become the pillar for future. Thanks a lot, judges, and thank you very much, participants. We'll now be open for the audience who will be presenting their take on the problems if we have them. Thank you so much.
If the audience would like to give their alternative suggestions, they could raise their hands. I think this shows how much effort the participating teams had put in their plan. It's all right, we'll keep the vouchers to ourselves. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you to the judges. Thank you, everybody.
Do log into our social websites. We'll be sending you the links, and follow us for such future events. We are actually planning a bigger one in the month of January, and we hope to see you all come there well prepared, probably much better, after all the pointers that both of our esteemed panelists have given. And so we hope to see you all again, and all the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, on behalf of Zach, firstly for joining and staying tuned till the very end. Please do log in and follow our social media websites, that is Instagram handle, Zach, to know the winner of today's event. You can also join the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abhijit sir. Thank you, Praneel sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.